It was late evening, and the sun had already sunk behind the horizon, painting the sky in shades of violet and crimson. The hum of vehicles passing along the empty highway echoed in the distance. Inside the old gas station, Ethan wiped the counter with a worn rag, his uniform slightly stained with oil. His back ached from the long day, but he kept going, because he had to. Being a single dad meant no rest, no breaks. His 8-year-old daughter, Lily, was waiting at home, probably doing her homework by the flickering light of a small lamp. Ethan wasn't always a janitor. There was a time when he dreamed big, mechanical engineering, designing machines, a steady job, but life had different plans. After his wife passed away in a car accident 3 years ago, everything fell apart. Bills piled up, his degree stayed unfinished, and the only thing that mattered now was Lily. So, when the small gas station owner offered him a job as a janitor and part-time attendant, Ethan took it without hesitation. That night seemed like any other. He swept the floors, cleaned the washrooms, restocked the shelves, and chatted briefly with a few regular customers. By 9 p.m., the station was quiet, just the buzzing of the neon, open, sign breaking the silence. He checked his watch, 1 more hour, then home. A black luxury car pulled up suddenly, its tires crunching on the gravel. Ethan looked up, slightly surprised. It wasn't common for someone to stop by this station at this hour, especially not someone driving a car like that. The tinted window rolled down, and a woman's voice called out, "Excuse me, is the restroom open?" "Yes, ma'am," Ethan replied, stepping closer. "Back there on the left, I'll unlock it for you." As he approached the driver's side, he noticed her clearly for the first time. She looked to be in her early 30s, sharp, confident eyes, elegant clothes, but tired. Her blazer was crisp, and a laptop bag lay on the passenger seat. She thanked him politely, and as she stepped out, the faint scent of expensive perfume mixed with gasoline filled the air. Ethan watched her disappear toward the restroom and returned to cleaning the counter. A few minutes later, he smelled something strange, something he knew too well. It wasn't the usual gas odor. It was sharper, dangerous. He sniffed again, and his stomach twisted. "Gas leak," he muttered, throwing his rag aside. He rushed outside to check the pumps, and sure enough, a small trail of liquid glistened under the dim lights. A faulty nozzle was dripping fuel, forming a thin line that led straight toward the convenience store's side, where an old heater was running. His pulse quickened. One spark could blow the place apart. "Ma'am," he shouted, running toward the restroom. "You need to get out, now." The woman emerged, startled. "What's going on?" "Gas leak. Fire risk. We have to move." Just as he spoke, a faint whoosh echoed behind them, followed by a burst of orange light. Flames licked up the side of the building, spreading fast. The heat was instant and terrifying. Ethan grabbed her hand. "Run." They sprinted across the forecourt, but as they reached her car, she gasped. "My bag. My laptop's inside. It's got everything, my company files, my research." Ethan hesitated for a second, glancing back at the growing fire. It was suicide to go back in. But when he saw her eyes, filled with panic, desperation, he made his decision. "Get behind the station sign and stay low," he ordered. Before she could protest, he ran back toward the store. Flames roared around the doorway, thick black smoke pouring from the windows. He ripped off his jacket, wrapped it around his arm, and pushed inside. The heat seared his skin, and his eyes stung from the smoke, but he moved fast, guided by memory. The laptop bag lay near the counter, half covered in ash. He grabbed it, turned, and the roof above him cracked. A burning wooden beam fell, grazing his shoulder. Pain shot through his arm, but he kept running. The exit was barely visible now, the air chokingly thick. Outside, the woman, Amelia, saw the silhouette emerging through the smoke and gasped. Ethan stumbled out, coughing hard, clutching the bag. His arm was bleeding, his face blackened with soot, but he smiled weakly as he handed it to her. "Didn't want your files to go up in flames." She looked at him, speechless. You could have died. "Wouldn't be the first close call," he said, trying to catch his breath. "Let's move, fire could spread to the pumps." She helped him toward a safe distance. Within moments, sirens wailed in the distance, someone had seen the blaze and called for help. Fire trucks arrived, spraying torrents of water over the station. Ethan sank to the ground, exhausted. Amelia sat beside him, staring at the burning building. "Everything I've worked for was on that laptop," she whispered. "You saved my entire company." He gave a small shrug. Just did what anyone would do. No, she said firmly. Most people wouldn't risk their life for a stranger. When the firefighters declared the area safe, an officer came to take statements. Amelia gave hers, all while glancing back at Ethan. He looked worn, his uniform singed, but there was a quiet strength in his eyes. After things calmed down, she insisted on driving him home despite his protests. The ride was silent for a while until she asked softly, "Do you have family waiting for you?" "Yeah," he said, with a tired smile. "My daughter. She's 8, smartest kid I know. You're a single dad." "Yeah, been that way for a while." She looked at him, intrigued. "And you still work this hard?" He chuckled. "Someone has to pay for her schoolbooks and cereal." When they reached his small house, he tried to thank her and leave, but she stopped him. "Wait, you didn't even tell me your name." "Ethan, I'm Amelia." She smiled faintly. "Amelia Rhodes, CEO of Bluelink Tech." He blinked. "You're that Amelia Rhodes, the one from those innovation awards?" She nodded. "And you just saved my life." Days passed. The story made headlines. Gas station janitor saves businesswoman from blaze. Reporters called him a hero, but Ethan avoided the attention. All he cared about was that Lily was safe and proud of him. She told everyone at school, "My dad's a hero." One morning, as Ethan prepared for another shift, a black car pulled up outside his home. He opened the door to find Amelia standing there, holding an envelope. "I came to thank you properly," she said. "The insurance covered most of the damage, but I still owe you." "You don't owe me anything," he replied. "I do," she insisted. "You risked your life for me. At least let me help you." He frowned slightly. "Help me how?" "Come work for me," she said. "You mentioned you studied engineering once. I could use someone like you. Maintenance, systems, maybe more. I'll cover training, full benefits." He stared at her, stunned. "You're serious?" "Completely. Consider it a second chance for both of us." He hesitated, then slowly smiled. "All right, but only if you promise one thing." "What's that?" "That you let me buy you coffee sometime. I owe you one for the scare you gave me." She laughed, a sound lighter than he'd expected. "Deal." Months went by. Ethan started working at her company, quietly proving himself day after day. His mechanical skills impressed the senior engineers, and soon, he was promoted to a technical supervisor role. His life changed. Lily got into a better school, their small home got new paint, and for the first time in years, he felt stable. Amelia often checked in with him, not as a boss, but as a friend. They shared stories, laughter, and sometimes quiet moments over late coffee in the company cafeteria. She admired his humility, he admired her resilience. Slowly, something unspoken began to form between them. One evening, while they were walking through the company parking lot, Amelia stopped and looked at him. "Do you ever think about that night?" "Every time I smell gasoline," he joked. She smiled faintly. "It changed everything for me. I was so focused on my work that I forgot what really mattered. You reminded me that people, not profits, come first." He looked at her, eyes warm. "And you reminded me that not every door closes forever." The sound of crickets filled the air, and the world around them seemed to pause. Amelia took a deep breath. "Ethan, I'm glad you were there that night." He nodded slowly. "Me too." Years later, people at Bluelink Tech still told the story of how their CEO was saved by a janitor who became an engineer. But for Ethan and Amelia, it wasn't just a story about fire and rescue. It was about finding hope in the ashes, 2 lives burned by loss, reignited by courage and kindness. Sometimes, fate sets fire to everything we know, only to forge something stronger in its place. Ethan learned that heroism doesn't wear a cape, it wears oil-stained uniforms and tired eyes. And Amelia discovered that true strength isn't in power, but in gratitude and compassion. And in that small moment on a cold night, when fire threatened to consume everything, 2 strangers' lives collided, not by accident, but by purpose. Because sometimes, destiny doesn't come knocking. It comes blazing.